Hello and thank you for joining us on yet another edition of The Eagle, a program that comes to you from the stables of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC. The Eagle seeks to educate, enlighten and inform Nigerian citizens on the dangers of corruption, economic and financial crimes, as well as what the EFCC is doing to stem the ugly tide. On today's episode, we will be looking at an emerging trend of an already known criminal activities called cybercrime. The violent side of it? Cybercrime is a global challenge that affects government, businesses, private institutions, and individuals around the world. It was argued that while the internet has many benefits to different people, organizations, and countries, it has exposed some opportunities for criminals to exploit vulnerabilities and steal vital information. My name is Aisha Mohammed, and with me on the program is
Abbas Abubakar. From cyberstalking, bullying, digital threats to netizens, the internet isn't always as safe or as distant as we think. However, it is usually taken for granted because one may never see those at the other end of the cyberspace. But what if then it involves physical harm? What if, as it is now turning out to be, that crime that targets only one's money or emotional well-being now has evolved from what it used to be into something fetish, diabolical and violent? There is the human cost to cybercrime.
We will also look at the steps we all can take to protect ourselves from falling victims and, most importantly, EFCC's efforts at fighting this national menace. Before then, let's go to know recent developments within the Commission this last week on our news corner. The scheduled arraignment of Halima Buba, Managing Director, Chief Executive Officer of SunTrust Bank Limited, and Innocent Mbagu, the bank's Executive Director and Chief Compliance Officer, was on Tuesday, May 27, 2025, stalled due to the absence of the defendants in court. The case before Justice Emeka Nwite of the Federal High Court Abuja involved allegations of a $12 million fraud leveled against the two top executives by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. Miracle Chukwuogoziam has more on the report.
The EFCC is prosecuting Buba and Mbagu for alleged conspiracy and aiding cash payments to different persons involving millions of dollars beyond the prescribed threshold without passing through a financial institution, contrary to Section 21A of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022, and punishable under Section 19, Subsection 2B of the same Act. Prosecution Counsel Ekele Iheanacho, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, informed the court that the matter was slated for arraignment, but the defendants were not in court as prosecution has been unable to effect service of the charges on them. The prosecution informed the court he has not been able to serve the defendants, adding that the defendants are aware of the days of proceeding as their legal representatives are in court. He further informed the court that the defense counsel informed him that they are willing to receive the service on behalf of their clients, adding that the prosecution do not oppose but wish to comply with Section 382, Subsection 5 of the Administration of Criminal Justice Act (AJA), which requires the prosecution to bring an application of substituted service by way of an ex parte application. He further requested an adjournment for June 4, 2025 for arraignment. Responding, counsel to the defendant J.J. Usman ASAN told the court that his clients were not properly served and only learned of the arraignment via social media. He expressed concern that if the court did not direct service on counsel, the prosecution might resort to arresting and parading the defendants in the social media. While in his rebuttal, Iheanacho argued that such fears were speculative. After listening to arguments from both sides, Justice Nwite adjourned the matter till June 4, 2025 for arraignment. He also directed the prosecution to file and bring its application for substituted service on counsel to the defendants on or before Thursday, May 29, 2025.
Secretary of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC, Mr. Mohammed Hamajoda, has described the involvement of Nigerian students in the fight against corruption and financial crimes as positive, stressing that their engagement is one of the critical pillars in the nation's anti-corruption efforts. He made the observation recently in Abuja when the members of the Zero Tolerance Club of the Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, paid a courtesy visit to the Commission's corporate headquarters. Our reporter, Chinonso Eni, completes the story.
Highlighting the role Nigerian students play in their various tertiary institutions in the fight against corruption, Hamajoda stated that the Commission is actively engaging them to enhance their moral upbringing, integrity, and accountable conduct. While commending the students for their good works and urging them to renew their commitment to the fight against economic and financial crimes, he noted that ABU Zaria Zero Tolerance Club is one of the most active and vibrant clubs in the country. He further stated that the importance of youth involvement in combating corruption and economic crimes cannot be overemphasized, and that was why the EFCC engages with youths and children at every given opportunity. Speaking on behalf of the students, the president of the Zero Tolerance Club ZTC, Ahmadu Bello University, Zaria, Joseph Omowuha, stated that the visit to EFCC was to foster mutual relationship and to find ways where they can work together with the Commission in the fight against corruption. He assured the Commission that they would uphold the core values and objectives of EFCC, adding that their activities are focused on sensitization and reorientation across departments, faculties, and secondary schools within Zaria. I am Chinonso Eni, reporting for the Eagle.
Justice Mojishola Dada of the Special Offences Court sitting in Ikeja has convicted and sentenced two oil marketers, Muhammad Nasser Ali and Christian Taylor, to 14 years imprisonment each for 2.2 billion naira oil subsidy fraud. They were rearranged alongside Nasama Oil Services Limited on an amended 57-count charge following new findings in the case. The defendants had initially been arraigned on a 49-count charge bordering on conspiracy to obtain money by false pretense, forgery, and the use of false document. Amaka Ekeng has more on this.
The convicts were initially standing trial before Justice Adeniyi Onibanjo of the Lagos State High Court sitting in Ikeja, Lagos. However, Justice Onibanjo withdrew from the case, thereby prompting the reassignment of the case to Justice Dada. During the trial, the prosecution, led by Seyi Duarte, presented witnesses and tendered documents which were admitted by the court to prove its case against the defendants. Delivering judgment on Tuesday, Justice Dada found the evidence presented by the prosecution compelling and held that the actions of the defendants not only defrauded the government but also undermined the integrity of Nigeria's oil subsidies program. The judge sentenced the defendants to 14 years imprisonment each and also ordered the forfeiture of identified assets and accounts linked to the fraud. Justice Dada also issued a warrant for the arrest of both Oluwaseun Ogunbambo and Olabisi Abdulafiz, two other suspects still at large. The convicts began their journey to the correctional center when they were arrested and arraigned for obtaining the sum of 1,480,074,125 naira 60 kobo from the federal government of Nigeria by claiming that the sum represented subsidy accruing to Nasman Oil Services Limited under the Petroleum Support Fund for the importation of 20,492,982.50 litres of premium motor spirits. The court found them guilty, convicted, and sentenced them.
Before now, cyber criminals targeted only people's funds through various types of fraudulent claims and personation. With time, it started targeting not just their funds, but their emotional well-being as a bait to reaching their pockets or accounts. Today, in Nigeria, through several occult, fetish and ritualistic beliefs, the certain sacrifices, especially of human organs, could attract more victims and by extension, more money. The younger generation of cyber fraudsters embraced a more violent side of the trade called Yahoo Plus. Another dimension of this violent side of cybercrime in recent time has to do with an outright confrontation of operatives by cyber criminals who are now in possession of firearms. Just as their counterparts in international drug ring, cyber criminals are gradually becoming a violent crime in order to protect their nefarious activities. Cybercrime has crippled individuals, organizations, and institutions in Nigeria and beyond, even as the image of Nigeria is at stake because we are seen as cyber criminals wherever we go.
It can also have a significant economic impact. Businesses of all sizes are vulnerable of cyber attacks, which can result in financial losses, loss in productivity, and damage to corporate reputation. Small businesses are particularly at risk as they may not have the resources to implement robust cybersecurity measures. As we search for solutions in tackling this menace, join us on our interview segment and let's dissect the phenomenon of violent side of cybercrime. Over to you, Miracle Chukwa-Agozie.
In recent times, the negative phenomenon known as cybercrime, or Yahoo as we know it in Nigeria, has turned from a non-violent crime to a very dangerous or violent one, which now involves fetish practices of human sacrifice and attack on operatives with arms and ammunition. This emerging violent side of cybercrimes has become very worrisome. What is heightening this trend? Who are mostly involved? What could be done to curtail or even eliminate such in our midst? These and other questions are to be answered by our guest, ACE2 Daniel Danladi. He's the head cybercrime section of Enugu Zonal Directorate of the Commission. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me on this session.
So for clarity's sake, what is cybercrimes?
To simply put it, is crime, a type of crime that liberates the use of computer. Either it's in three ways: either that the computer are the main targets of the crime, or the computer network is used in perpetuating the crime, or the computer network devices are used to support a criminal activity. Cybercrime is a crime that is borderless and it's very complex, and it allows different individuals from different jurisdictions to coordinate together to form a syndicate and perpetuate several criminal acts within the cyberspace.
Are there any category of people involved in this type of crime? The cybercrime?
Cybercrime being a borderless and involving multi-jurisdictional segment is allowed every other person to come into it. Anybody can wake up today and venture into cybercrime. But the trajectory in Nigeria and the researches, and also based on the practical application of the law, and also what we have seen in the past, we can say that cybercrime is largely concentrated within the people around the age of 18 and 30, which a category of age segments that involves the youth and the young adults. These people are the majority of the people that venture into cybercrime in Nigeria today.
Recently, there's an emerging trend of violence in cybercrime. What do you think is the reason for this?
There are so many reasons.
Okay.
Some of the reason is the growing inordinate desire and quest for quick wealth. So many people are so desperate.
So they get rich quick syndrome, right?
Yes. So, and they are so desperate. And their desperation is tending towards nothing can hinder us. And also, there is also a growing detachment. That's in terms of morals. People are trying so much to detach themselves from the crime they commit. So they can do all sorts of things. So long as they can meet their end, they don't want to mind how they reach there. So if you observe also, it's not only cybercrime, there's also a rising cases of ritual killing.
Yes.
So they are going together. The more ritual killing is rising, the violent side of cybercrime is also rising.
Increasing.
In the past, we only see issues of cyber stalking, cyberbullying, another form of threats online. But gradually, the internet fraudsters, which we popularly call the Yahoo boys in Nigeria, are now going to Yahoo Plus. Yahoo Plus is mixing ritualism, ritual killing, and other elements of cybercrime. So now we are past graduating from the issues of cyberbullying, cyber stalking, other threats online, to even physical violence. To even physical violence. So the trend is recently is rising, and they are even becoming more emboldened to the point that even the law enforcement officers, there's a lot of hostility towards the law enforcement in Nigeria, and the rising cases of people trying to take up arms. In the past, we have, during our operations, we were able to recover arms from several suspects, which we handed over to other sister agencies because that's their mandate, it's not our mandate. And recently, we have several cases of attack here and there in the course of our operation. And it all is boiling down to this issue of violence being involved in cybercrime today.
Having said this, who suffers the consequences, or who are those at the receiving end, mostly for this type of crime, this cybercrime, the violent side?
The vulnerability to cybercrime spanned a very broad spectrum in terms of the economic loss, in terms of the reputational damages, in terms of the nominal victims to this particular cybercrime. Businesses are losing a lot. The research, there are a lot of researches out there, but most of the researches is showing that in 2025, the rising cost of cybercrime is attributed to losses. It may be attributed to losses that may span to $15 to $20 billion in 2025. So businesses are losing. Individuals are also losing. But the most vulnerable people, the most vulnerable set of people that are mostly the target of cybercrime are the aged people. Religious people, people that are morally so sound, and they want to. Most of these people, sometimes these issues start from help. So the aged people, the lonely people, people that are secluded socially, are the most vulnerable people that are mostly affected by cybercrime activities today around the globe. Also in Nigeria, so many people that are lonely, so many people that are looking for romance, so many people that are
Looking for companionship.
yes, fall into victims of cybercrime.
Wow.
And also people that are greedy.
Greedy.
Yes, because so many people also are greedy. People who come with lofty ideas and they want to sell it to you. And you also, because of your greed, you can fall victim to cybercrime.
So, as the head cybercrime section, here in the eastern part of the country, how has it been for you, fighting this kind of crime, and are there some notable successes?
Yes. If you look at our statistic in 2024,
Yes.
most of the convictions that we recorded in the southeastern zone in Enugu is from cases of cybercrime. And the practice and also research has proven that if you can arrest 50 people within this region, you can get up to 45. If you round up 10 youths on the streets, you will be rest assured that at least 6 or 7 of them are involved in one way or the other in cybercrime.
That's a huge responsibility for you.
Yes. So we are doing our best in terms of creating awareness, in terms of operational interdiction, arrest, and prosecution. But still, the trend is still very large and still growing.
Thank you so much. But before I let you go, what are your words of advice? What are your last words to those, listening or watching us on this topic?
My last word will be that youth should channel their energy. They should channel their frustration into being creative, to look for genuine business means, to look for genuine things to do within the legitimate ecosystem of Nigeria. Instead of going to cybercrime, there are a lot of things that youth can do to channel their energy and their talents. So many people today are doing online jobs, which are legitimate, remote jobs, which are legitimate. There are a lot of things that one can do and it gets good money. Instead of venturing into cybercrime, we can use our energy and our resources positively to correct the image that we have right now, to correct the reputation of Nigeria in the international community.
And with that, we have come to the end of this week's episode of The Eagle. Keep sending in your messages, enquiries, suggestions to info@efcc.gov.ng. You can also call us on 0809 3322 644. Also, use the EFCC mobile app, the Eagle app, to report any fraud you see happening around you. Just download the app, follow the steps, and report fraud on the go. And you can also take pictures of corrupt practices and upload them.
Also, remember to join us every Wednesday evening at 6 p.m. on our web-based town hall meeting called EFCC Connect, where we answer your questions and not your observations of the anti-corruption fight in order to serve you better. And also, listen to EFCC Radio 97.3 FM, the voices against economic and financial crimes. I am Abbas Abubakar.
And I am Aisha Muhammad, leaving you with these words by Dennis Prager, who said, "Goodness is about character, integrity, honesty, kindness, generosity, moral, courage, and like. More than anything else, it is about how we treat other people. Be kind to yourself and to others around you. Goodbye, God bless Nigeria, and stay blessed.